every like childhood story that I hear about you is like you were just such a pure dumb soul that you were just that the world just like you had no preparation for like people being mean to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just seemed nice. So it's like, was there like a when you get to New York and I also love the little detail that didn't you live? Who were your roommates? It was a hilarious roommate situation.
Well, I was roommates with Sherrod. I moved with a guy in his band called Dick Sister, so I was like the Yoko Ono of Dick Sister.
Sherrod and Dick Sister. That's awesome.
I lived with a band called Mongrel Bitch, and it was like a studio apartment.
That's incredible.
It was just the lead singer of Mongrel Bitch was on the top bunk, and I was on the bottom, and I would come in like at like 3 a.m, like I'd kick off my boots like a fucking gross slut. And it was her and her daughter, and she'd be like, "Mommy, who's that?"
Yeah. You lived in a studio apartment with
the woman and her daughter.
Oh my god.
And then I met a Bengali family on the Greyhound after Dick Sister dumped me, and I moved in.
This is the saddest start to a memoir right there.
This is incredible.
I know.
It is.
I know, and it's all completely true. Like there's not an aspect of it I'm exaggerating.
And there was the guy who faked that he was in the service.
Oh yeah, I did date a guy for a while that pretended to be in the war in Iraq.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. Hold on. This is so much better than I was just remembering Sherrod. I thought that was gonna be good. I didn't realize there's like 8 weird living situations. So you get off the Greyhound bus from Montgomery County, Maryland, and you get to New York. What's the first like living situation?
Was Dick Sister. I moved with Dick Sister, and
were you dating someone in the band?
Yeah, I was dating the lead singer, and then
Dick
he dumped
Sister.
me, and he kept like re-dumping me, like the dumps weren't taken. I just kept being like, it's me again. Just like
you're on the phone with your parents. Dude, Dick Sisters is going to be big. You have to understand. I'm riding this train all the way to the top.
And my mom had like no follow-up questions because she's just that's how liberal she is. She was just outside in a dashiki like that. Like no follow. And then like nothing. Like it was like, by the way, he was 5 years older than me. It was like statutory rape, I think. My mom was like, I like
How old were you?
Yeah. I was like 15 when we started dating, and
what?
he was like 20.
Wait, it literally was statutory rape? I thought you were Dick Sister had some Diddy stuff going on. Did Sister.
I thought you were like 21 in this story. I didn't think you were.
I was 17 when I moved to New York.
Okay.
What the fuck? This honestly.
Then I met a family on the Greyhound. A woman. I was weeping after being freshly dumped by Dick Sister, and this woman, Bengali woman,
had to catch up on your algebra homework. You were sad. You helped him file for Social Security benefits, and you were trying to get the quadratic equation down. And some Indian guy helped you with it, and he was like, "Come live with my family."
R. Kelly tapped you. He was like, "You should come to this party. It's really good. It's a good time."
I will say, I want to hear more details, but I will just make a quick aside that you're the best example of how good positive thinking can be for a person. Because what you're describing is horrific. Everything you've said is horrific, and you just have such a you would be fine to be a traumatized, useless person in society, but because you're like have a positive outlook, it really, it's awesome. People look to Rachel, guys.
I mean, I'm not well.
Yeah.
Great if the second half of this pod was just her crying.
She's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm out."
Just weeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm clearly unwell. Yeah, I found a guy on the street who was like, he was like a construction worker, and I thought he looked like Paul Newman. I was like, oh, he's hot. And I think I was with Marina Franklin, actually, and she was like, he's your type, like, looks like Paul Newman, and he's like red-eyed and drunk.
He was like, "Hey, baby, let me lick that pussy." You're like, "I'm gonna give this a shot."
Wow, it's Cool Hand Luke. Oh my God. It's Butch Cassidy.
He pretended that he was like back from a war, and I was
so it was just on the street, truly, like you just saw a guy
outside stand-up New York. Yeah,
okay,
nice. Kind of proud of man. He was really hot.
Nothing good ever happens there.
Yeah,
it's a rough club.
Yeah, you barked in a guy and then dated him. That's awesome.
Yeah, he was like, I just got back from a war, and I was like, oh, it's kind of hot, and like, we did some shots, and then the next day he came out and watched my show, and I bombed so violently, and I was like, oh, this guy's never gonna want to see me again, and then he met me at the bar, and I mean, it was like a violent, like an emergency bomb where you feel like you need to be lifted out of the space.
No,
like,
you're
with
just
a
like sweating.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
And I meet him at the bar, and he was like, I got something to tell you. He knew it was the right moment. He's like, I was never in the war.
You bombed so bad,
Yeah.
it excused his stealing valor. He was like, me and this person are equals. She's so unfunny that she will accept that I lied about serving in Desert Storm.
He started not walking with a limp anymore.
That's exactly what happened.
Really? Oh
He
my
faked
God.
a limp until I got on stage.
Wow, holy shit.
How did you know that?
I don't think you told me that part. That's amazing.
Yeah, he absolutely faked a limp, and then he was like, the limp wasn't real, and I was like, it's okay.
Holy shit.
I still thought he was better than me because he had an apartment, and he was like a foreman on a construction
Yeah.
site.
Yeah.
And he was always sorry, which is very hot to me. So he was always like,
Number two, he's like, I don't really work at a construction site.
Yeah.
I just got this hat somewhere, and I've been standing on the corner.
I had to do despicable things to a member of the village people for this hat, but I knew it would help me get impressionable teenagers on the street. Fuck. You were impressed he didn't have a bunk bed as an adult.
I was. That's all it took for me. It was literally a person that had an apartment.
Yes,
and I was
yes,
like, oh,
yes.
they're above me. Like, he was shit-faced. Every night would end at us in a Port Authority bar, and him just glaring
Port
at some
Authority.
Those are some
stranger.
good bars around there.
Okay,
actually.
all right.
That was a good dive.
All right, I take it back. I forgot I'm dealing with an alcoholic.
Hey, shout out
This guy
Rudy's.
sounds all right.
Rudy's, you get a free hot dog with every round.
Oh yeah, that
fun
place is
spot.
cool.
44th
Yeah,
and
now
9th.
hot dogs got me in. Yeah. All our vices. Men that are back for us drink and food in a row. All right, so we all need to just start hanging out at Rudy's. That's where.
I used to call AA like the hotline every day, and I'd be like, you don't understand. He's an alcoholic. They're like, yeah, he has to call. I'm like, he's never going to call.
Right.
He thinks shots are the problem.
Yes.
Like, it didn't even occur to me that I shouldn't be calling AA every day to get him sober.
How many drinks
Right.
are we talking?
Oh my God. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine. I mean, at a certain point, he was just kind of rocking and falling forward. And then he would glare at some woman at the bar. Like, he was always starting beef with somebody. And I'm like, there'd be some old 65-year-old divorced lady. I'm like, what beef could you possibly have with Virginia? Like, and he'd be like, and he'd always accusing me of like not having his back. He's like, you never back me up. You never fucking back me up in a conflict.
What the fuck? And how? So wait. So this. I need the chronology. You literally do need to write a memoir. This is fascinating.
You really should.
The chronology is you're how old and how old is he now?
At that point, I was at our Dick sister and I had already fallen
Dick
apart.
sister's over.
Yes.
You're living with the Bengali family.
With the Bengali family.
This was Dick's sister, the early years.
Yeah, this is post Dick sister in the prime of the Bengali family.
Yes.
And
I
where
was
were you living? Like in
Bengalis,
Queens?
and I was, and I met him. I guess I was about 23, and
Okay.
then he was like 33, and I moved in with him right after he told me that he wasn't really fresh from a war. I was like, let me give him a suitcase.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's amazing.
Were I'm gonna guess the Bengali family lived in Queens,
They did. They lived in Woodhaven, Queens,
and you needed to be in the city.
Yeah,
You
and
needed
I did.
to fuck for shelter in Manhattan.
It was kind of part of it.
Yeah.
Well, he lived closer to the city. He lived he lived in West New York, so we had to take a bus like right over that
Oh my
bus.
God.
Yeah, I know this is so dark.
He didn't live in the city.
By the way, you guys, every day I was like,
That was killing me right now.
by the way, every day I was like, I can't believe my luck.
Yeah, you're like
This
wow.
blue-eyed man.
The Big Apple.
Looking back, did he kind of look like Paul Newman, or was that
Yes,
just...
he was very hot.
He was probably hot,
He
yeah,
was jacked, and he would just
Okay.
come home just fucking red-eyed, just full of lies. I
Yep.
was sifting through garbage. I'm like, this is liquor. This is liquor.
Yeah.
He's like, babe, I'm not fighting with you tonight. I'm not taking the bait. That's what he'd say.
He's just reliving whatever divorce he just went through. He like is fully going through his first marriage.
Taking the bait is
It's
good.
awesome.
Great when
He's
you're actively
gaslighting you,
drunk.
yeah. You stumble into the apartment like, you can't keep doing this to me. I love throwing that on someone. Oh, that's good.
None of your rhetorical tricks tonight.
He said that once right before he passed out. I was like, "You are drunk, Chris." He's like, "I'm not drunk. I'm not taking your fucking bit." And then he just softly fell forward into the carpet.
That's fucking incredible.
I'm like, "Your nose is broken." He's like, "Babe, I'm not doing this."
Do you keep tabs on him? Have you seen where he's been?
He messaged me a few times, but
Awesome.
I've not talked to him in many years. I mean, it would be Dave Juskow invited him to his football pool because he thinks it's funny to invite every guy that I've ever broken up with to his football pool. So I know he's still in Dave's pool. Whenever I leave someone, Dave's like, "Well, I heard his side." I'm like, "Fuck you, Dave."
That's such a bizarre technique to just like befriend your friend's exes.
He's
He
fucking
thinks
with
it's
her.
hilarious.
He's fucking with
yeah,
her.
yeah,
Dave is
yeah.
hilarious.
Dave is
He
very
really
funny. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he does. He thinks it's funny to ask them all to be in his pool. And they're all in his pool, by the way. Even Chris's brother is in his pool. Yeah. And he's like, he made some good points. And I'm like,
This
"Dude,
is
on the
so long ago.
Yeah,
Dark.
I know. He's still in his pool, like, for many years. Yeah. He keeps in touch with all of them.
What
yeah.
the fuck? That's
Yeah, like
awesome.
my ex that cheated on me with a bartender, he's like, he was actually really sweet when he explained what happened to me. He got blown, and I caught him.
how'd you catch it?
I like walked into the bar, and he was like in the back finishing up a
Wait,
blowjob.
you guys were at the bar together and
Yes.
he popped back?
No, I came in to like check on him because I had a
okay.
feeling he was up to things.
But you
By the way, I
And he
told
just finished?
he just
He's
finished.
zipping his
Wow,
pants up
that's-
like, not tonight, honey.
Yeah, I'm not taking the bait.